Okay, folks, we're back after it again. As you can tell, it's a little chilly out here. I've had to bundle up just a bit, but I am back at Spruce Knob. It's the highest point of the state of West Virginia, and I'm going to be taking a little trip into the Seneca Creek Backcountry. My intention is just to go on a little overnighter here, and I'm going to give you just a little looky-see at my pack set up here. Okay, what we've got here, we've got our Mystery Ranch Glacier 70 backpack, and as you can see, I have a fluorescent vest attached to it. It's just the tail end of rifle hunting season here in West Virginia, so I wanted to play it safe. I'm going to be using the hammock on this trip, but I'm going to be using my 0-degree quilt and my 0-degree sleeping pad. So hopefully that will keep us warm enough. So what do you say we get this pack up on our back and let's get out there on that trail. I'll give you just a quick look around. We've still got a bit of a breeze blowing, but it's warmed up quite a bit. And I had stopped and shed that shell layer I had on. But it is positively gorgeous up here. You know, back there at the parking lot, I was starting to have second thoughts about the trip, wondering if I got myself into something that I shouldn't have, but I tell you what, it's turned out real nice out here. Well, let's go ahead and get the pack back on and let's mosey on into camp. Okay, folks, I'm about 3.6 miles into the trip and just stopped to have me a bite to eat for lunch. It's not a lot of mileage, but breakfast came real early this morning. I got up at about 4:30 and I left the house by 5:30 without breakfast and got me some drive-through on the way. Arrived at the trailhead at 10 o'clock a.m. So, you know, it's been a little bit since the last feeding time came around, so let's see what we got to eat. We're pretty much having standard fare today, and on the menu is this great value pulled pork in barbecue sauce, and we're having our single serving of peanut butter, and we're having a homemade tortilla wrap. I know what you're thinking, right? Will this guy ever eat anything else other than that? But honestly, I like it. It's cheap and it's filling, and I've seen no reason to change so far. Just checking around here at this little campsite I've arrived at. It's a nice little site. Not too bad, and I was considering how cold it is. As soon as I stopped hiking, I almost immediately had to put on my puffy coat. And we're supposed to get some rain in here tonight. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do, instead of trying to make so ambitious of a trip, I think I'm going to stay right here. That way, if the weather gets too nasty, I can, I'm only, you know, 3.6 miles away from Old Blue, and I can make that pretty much. It doesn't matter what the weather's doing. You know, I can do that amount of mileage easily. I'm thinking about hanging between these two trees right here. This tree directly in front of us and the one right here to the right. I think that would that'll be a good hang right there, and there's nothing on the ground, you know, any kind of obstructions or anything to damage the hammock or myself if I happen to take a little tumble out of it. But the main reason for me coming out here, I just needed a little peace and quiet. You know, my job has been real stressful lately, and I just needed to get away for a little bit. And I can accomplish that right here at this little campsite. That'll give me a nice little overnighter. and I think that's what we'll do. Okay, you can see my little table in action there, and it's working quite well for me so far. And there to the left is the little cook pot, my mess kit that I'm going to use on this particular trip. I've never used this particular pot before, so I hope that it works out all right. Here is the type of table that I have. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but the name of the table is the Best Buddy, and it's been a pretty good buddy to me so far. I'm going to take you around and show you camp here. I've got the hammock set up, and I've got my shoes and socks off. I have my camp shoes and camp socks on, and my feet were starting to get just a bit chilly. But I'll give you a quick look at my gear setup here. I have my Outdoor Vitals Storm Loft 0 degree quilt spread out and lofting up and getting ready to go, and the Outdoor Vitals balaclava to go on there. And then you've seen the Amok hammock before, but I'm using the Amok Winterlight sleeping pad that's rated to 0 degrees, I think it is. It has an R value of like 5 or 5.5. And my pillow, I'm using a Nemo pillow, and that should be quite a bit warmer than your standard inflatable air pillow. But anyway, in the morning, all I have to do is resume hiking on that trail, 3.6 miles back to the trailhead, and that should be an easy little hike for me. But I'm just looking forward to enjoying a nice quiet evening. It'll be a chilly evening for sure, but it'll be quiet nonetheless. Something that I really like about this little pot is that I can get so many items to nest inside of it. You can see I've got I carry a little thing of storm matches with me, and that's to provide a little redundancy should my Bic lighter fail. And here's my trusty old Leatherman tool. And in this I've got my couple of things of instant Medacliadoro instant espresso coffee, and I've got 2 packets of chamomile tea, and then I have my drinking cup here, and inside the cup, if I can get it out, it's a pretty tight fit, is my Trangia stove. Well, I tell you, at the trailhead, I was starting to have my doubts whether I would be able to stay warm out here. But right now, I'm nice and toasty warm. No worries whatsoever. I tell you what, the camp clothes thing is for real. I snuggled up in my hammock and got up underneath the quilt, and I changed into my camp clothes, and it has made the world of difference. Okay, I've got my pot of water on to boil here, and I'm using the windscreen for my MSR Whisperlight stove, and I'm hoping that makes this particular setup more efficient. And then I've got the stainless steel 1 liter billy pot, and I'm using it on my little Trangia spirit burner alcohol stove. And that's sitting very nicely atop my new little table. On the menu tonight is Packet Gourmet's ostentatious tortilla soup. I thought a little bit of soup would be in order on a cool evening. And we're also going to have a spot of tea. This is chamomile flavor, and I thought that would also go good on a nice chilly evening. Tell you what, this hot tea sure is good. I'm really glad I brought it. And I'm having to use my cell phone to film because my GoPro batteries both died on me. I made sure they were fully charged before I left on the trip, and this cold weather has just zapped those batteries. But I'm fortunate that I can do this on the phone. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a video to give you. Well, let's check on our meal here. It's had time to rehydrate. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, there's the finished product with all the added ingredients. It comes with Cholula sauce, a little bit of tortilla chips, and a packet of True Lime. And I added all of it. And we'll just give it a good stir here. And I remember this soup being really good. In fact, I believe I did a video on that. And if I did, I'll put the link to the video. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's good. Very, very flavorful. It hits the spot on a day like today. Okay, got my bear bag hung up. Pretty good distance from camp. Probably not as far as what the guidelines recommend, but anyway, we've got it hung up pretty well there. And I've got everything tucked up under the tarp. I've got my little table mounted underneath here. Of course, there's nothing on it. If it gets rain on it, it won't hurt that thing a bit. And I've got my backpack trussed up on the ground. I brought that rain jacket with me, and I was able to wrap the jacket's big enough to where I could wrap around and zip up a little bit, and then I tied the sleeves over and hooked the hood down, so it looks like it, even if I do get a little bit of rain, that my pack should stay relatively dry. And what I'm doing here is the clothes I hiked in today. I've got them in my hammock here, and I'm going to have them underneath the quilt with me. That way it keeps my clothes warm. And the same goes with my water filter, even though I'm not going to be filtering any water. If these filters freeze up, then they're absolutely no good whatsoever. So I'm going to have it in the quilt with me as well. Look at my cozy little light I got there. I tell you what, those things don't put out much light as far as civilization goes, but when you get out here in the middle of nowhere and there's no other lights around, that thing is almost like a street light out here. Even through the bug screen, you can see how much light that little thing puts off there. But if you're a little bit scared of the dark and never been to the wilderness before, a little light like that could be just the thing for you to help you. Okay, folks, it's dark outside, probably about 5:15, 5:20, but I got up at 4:30 this morning, so I'm a bit tired, but I think I'm just going to sit here and maybe do a little bit of reading and enjoy the little light from my candle lantern. And I'll get my devices on charge and we'll be ready to go in the morning. But we'll see you then. Well, good morning. As you can see, I've got my coffee water on the boil. I'm going to have a little quick breakfast. I got a pack of Pop-Tarts sitting on top of the pot there, and that kind of helps heat them up a little bit. And I've got my little pouch here of the Monongahela D'Oro Instant Espresso, and that's going to be a quickie breakfast. I'll give you a look around. I am sitting under my tarp because it is rainy and windy, and the wind came in probably about midnight last night, and we had gusts up to about 25 miles per hour. So you know, it's not raining terribly hard, but it's too nasty to do it out there next to the fire pit, so here we are. Okay, I hope you can see me now. I didn't want to blind you, but anyway, I'll be able to get an early start and get on back to the trailhead and check on Old Blue and head back to the homestead. I guess you know what time it is. It's coffee time. Coffee and strawberry Pop-Tarts, the breakfast of champions. I want to give you a quick word before I finish my cup of coffee here, and I just happened to think of it, but I know I've told you this before, but it bears repeating. If you decide to come to the wilderness, one of the things in your backpack should be a tarp of some kind, whether it's a rain poncho tarp or a tarp like this or whatever. A tarp can literally save your life, and the ability to be able to pitch the tarp, you know, will save your life too. It's not just about having the gear, it's knowing how to use it, knowing how to adapt the gear to your current surroundings can make the difference between you getting hurt or you staying warm and dry. Okay folks, I got all suited up and everything here. And we took one last quick look around camp to be sure we didn't forget anything. And we're going to get this soggy hike going. But the good news is we only have a short distance to go back to Old Blue. So let's get after it. Look how spooky. I don't know if you can see the mist that's in here, but it's pretty misty out here. And the trail conditions can change just overnight. A lot of this was iced in yesterday, but now it's turned back to mud, which creates a whole different ball game. But I'm lucky that I have my seal skins. You can see those bright yellow socks. Those are called seal skins, and they serve as a vapor barrier between my feet and my shoes, and they also give me a measure of waterproofing rather. All in all, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm staying pretty dry, and I'm interested to see how this Mystery Ranch backpack performs under these conditions. I purposely left it uncovered. I wanted to see if it was watertight or water resistant. So we're going to test it out, and we'll let you know once we find out. Okay folks, we seem to have made it. Old Blue is safe and sound, and you can walk with me the last little bit of the trail here. We just did our little walk there in the Seneca Creek Backcountry and never got off the Huckleberry Trail. We're just enjoying this beautiful spring day out here. But anyway, it was good for me to get out there. I enjoyed myself. I feel better. I know I probably don't look any better. And especially my little trekking pole here. This is my casualty of the trip. I'm going to go ahead and get on into Old Blue here and we're going to find a little restaurant and have us a cup of coffee and some hot chow. But thanks for coming along. We'll see you in the next video.